In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to do a little bit of a follow up on my earlier short video. It's like I went to bed in America, kind of, and then I woke up in Venezuela. So here's what happened. This is how my day started. I drop my kids off at school. I go to mass. Everything's like relatively normal. My priest is like, gets up to do his homily and he's like, hey, public service announcement. If you did not fill up your gas tanks, go ahead, after mass and make sure you do that. He was like, I was up at 5:30 this morning. I had to go to 4 different gas stations. Apparently there was some cyber attack and all the gas stations are running out of gas. So I'm like, okay, and it was weird because on the way into mass, I had fixed somebody's gas cap. Somebody had left their gas door open, the gas tank door, and their gas cap was off. And like, we have a lot of elderly people. So I'm like, oh, as an old person, they probably forgot. So I fixed it for him. And so then I go into mass and he's talking about this gas thing. And then, so I come out and I'm like, okay. So I think I passed one or two. One is within eye distance, and another one is actually on my way home back to my house, short drive. One gas station was out of gas, the other one had lines literally like probably a half mile long. So I was like, oh boy. So I know like a couple, I figured that we have a lot of tourists here. I know the tourists are going to probably stick to the main roads, whatever. So I know a couple that are off the beaten path. So I was able to finally find one, but I passed so many gas stations that were completely shut down. I passed, and I'm talking about half mile long lines out into the street to get gas. So we will be out of gas here shortly in South Carolina. There's no doubt about it. North Carolina, I think it hit them a little bit maybe before us because they have already declared a state of emergency. And this is evidently the story we're being told is that this is due to some hacking group, Dark Knight or some, I don't even know, I'm probably saying that wrong because it's ridiculous. So obviously it's a hacking group that has ties to Russia, of course, right? So me and my dad were laughing about it and we were like, oh, next they're going to blame Trump. But evidently this hacking group has hacked into the a company called that operates the Colonial. I don't even know because it's so ridiculous that I refuse to pay attention to it because it's not the truth. So there was some hack, and this is the story, the official narrative that has shut down this pipeline, and now the southeastern states are experiencing a shortage. But the other problem is people are anticipating a shortage, so they're filling up all their cars, they're filling up their boats, they're filling up everything ahead of this, so it's causing shortages. So even if there isn't a shortage, we are now causing a shortage because the media told us to panic. See how this works? It's the same thing we go through before hurricanes, only not, I've never seen it like this. Even before hurricanes, it has never been like this. This is outrageous. So I'm kind of hanging out at home right now, doing what I can, work from home, some sort of paperwork because they're saying this thing might not be resolved to the end of the week. So who knows? But I'm telling you, the way things are looking right now, we will be out of gas. Probably by the end of the day, maybe tomorrow morning if they don't get new shipments in. Um, but here's what I wanted to get to. So we have reached the point where we can trust nothing that the official narratives, you can pretty much bank on them not being the truth. You can pretty much bank on them, being used for an agenda. Now, I find it interesting that Russia is being associated with this for a lot of reasons. As you know, there is tension between Putin and Biden. As you know, as we should have all known, before Biden even got elected, he was in some trouble with Ukraine. He was doing some shady stuff in Ukraine. Now, who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Who knows what kind of corruption and backdoor deals are being made, but what we do know is that he was involved in something, and we do know that there is tension now. And Putin is telling the United Nations and the United States not to mass up forces in Ukraine, and of course, that's what we are doing. So instead of minding our own business, you know what? And there's a time and a place to mind your own business. You know what? Sometimes you don't mind your own business and you have justice on your side, but this isn't one of those times. So now we see this playing out where there's some Russian hacking group causing me not to be able to work. And that's the story that we're being told. But I'm not buying it. And I'm going to show you exactly why I'm not buying it. Obviously, this is another one of those situations where they have told us over and over again what to expect. This is the beginning. This is not, a random freak accident or event, okay? This is the beginning of a long summer of these sort of things happening. This is seems to be localized for now, but I would just prepare yourselves to deal with this into the future. So let me show you what I'm talking about and why, all the forecasting that was done, even as much as a week ago, right before this was happening, there was forecasting of this in the mainstream media. There was forecasting of this with the World Economic Forum, the Davos agenda, okay? And I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. And honestly, I'm past the point of caring if people think I'm a conspiracy theorist. Think what you want. I really don't care anymore. Whatever. Good luck to you. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Here's what I did. I went to DuckDuckGo. I typed in gas shortage summer 2021 and clicked on the news button. And all of these pop up. Gas shortage and price hike expected this summer. Is there a gas shortage in 2021? And these are, 22 hours ago, 23 hours ago, but then there's many before this hack. A gas shortage could impact your summer plans. Here's what you need to know. 12 days ago. CNN, 14 days ago. Gas shortages predicted this summer. And they're blaming it, of course, on COVID. And they were blaming it on a shortage of truck drivers. Now, isn't that interesting? Why would there be a shortage of truck drivers? Well, I can tell you that here in South Carolina, in the tourist area that I'm in, we have a major labor shortage because people are sitting home collecting unemployment, and they're making more in unemployment than they're making at low-paying touristy jobs. So nobody's working. People are getting these stimulus checks and getting this unemployment, and they're spending money. And this is how inflation occurs, right? So when you have nobody producing and everybody spending, it creates a scarcity. In this case, it's an artificial scarcity. It was, created artificially, but it was probably planned. But it's still a scarcity because nobody's producing anything and nobody wants to work. So it jacks up the prices of everything. Look at lumber. Lumber is up like, I don't even, 250% last time I checked or something like that. So all this new construction and everything else, the housing market is skyrocketing right now. New construction down here and everything else. It's all because there's too many people being consumers and not enough people being producers, okay? So I find it really interesting that we knew this was going to be a crisis, but now we're going to blame it on a hack, right? It seems like a cover to me for bad policies, like usual. Just like the coronavirus or whatever you want to call it, just like the pandemic was used as a cover to pursue an agenda. That's what's going on here. At the very least, covering up bad policies. But as we're going to see from the World Economic Forum, when I get to that in a minute, and the Davos agenda, really, it's a further down the road plan of the Great Reset. Actually, I shouldn't say further down the road. The beginnings of it are here, but it's this Great Reset where gas is bad. Everything has to be remodeled. Everybody's got to go in smart cities, blah, 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 blah. Okay? But I just find it really, really interesting. A driver shortage could mean a gas shortage in some places you travel this summer. Fact check, gas shortage this summer. So to me, Who knows? I'm not going to accuse anyone. Could it have been the company trying to cover up something? Sure. Could it? But for me, I don't believe it's Russian terrorists, okay? That's pretty much out of the question. That's about as believable as the coronavirus coming from a bat and somebody eating bat soup. Okay? That's the level we're on. Let's not be like, at this point, it's just insulting. Like, y'all have been talking about this for weeks. Lack of qualified drivers could lead to summer gas shortage. A summer gas shortage is possible due to too few, I mean, this 12 days ago. Driver shortage. Get ready for a gas shortage this summer as supply chain woes hit the pumps. So instead of getting to the bottom of this and addressing this issue, we're not going to do that. Why? Because Biden wants to collapse America. That's why. Okay, that's the plan in case you haven't been woke to this yet. That's the plan. And I haven't been covering this stuff because I've been trying to cover more spiritual stuff because the spiritual world is far more important and the state of your soul is far more important than this stuff. But it's just, again, exposing the evil agenda for what it is. Demand could lead to scattered gas shortages this summer. Could ruin your summer plans, run out of fuel, blah, blah. Okay. New York bill could raise gas price 55 cents per gallon, plus shortages possible this summer. And I don't know about where you're at, but gas has risen. I mean, it was under $2 for a while. Now we're at 270. So this is what communism looks like, and I was half joking, but not really, when I said I went to bed in America and woke up in Venezuela, because this is communism, okay? But we're gonna call it a cyber attack? Come on now. Really? Are we supposed to be that stupid? And of course, we're going to blame the Russians because Biden has a bone to pick with the Russians because he's corrupt in Ukraine and he's doing backdoor deals in Ukraine. Of course, it's always the Russians, right? But let me tell you something about the Russians. The Russians are not nearly as immoral as Americans are. Yeah. I mean, I don't, I'm calling a spade a spade. They do not participate in the liberal agenda that is America, okay? They outlaw a lot of anti-Christian themes such as homosexual marriage and a bunch of other stuff that we're not going to get into. They're more the average Russian, there's more Russians that attend church than Americans that attend church. So our claim to fame of a Christian nation is a bunch of malarkey. Now I want to go here. Let me pause this for a minute. So until I find. Sorry. Now all their videos can be found on YouTube. I'm not going to play them because I'll probably get a copyright thing that I'm not interested in dealing with. And I don't know why my internet's so slow either. But if you just, I think I'm subscribed to them, but World Economic Forum, they literally outline the entire plan for you. The only difference is they put a positive spin on it. Like they're just trying to convince you that their plan is good, but we all know, if you're woke enough, um, that it's not. So I watched a bunch of them, and a bunch of them are on technology, cyber. See, averting, look at this, 2 weeks ago, averting a cyber pandemic. They were obsessed with this topic this year, more so than in previous years. So that means the elites, the world powers, I'm not calling them the elite, sorry, I've told myself I wasn't going to do that anymore. The world evil satanic powers that are in bed with Satan, the beast system, if you will, is going to see averting a cyber pandemic. They're going to create these problems because they already have the solution. Like, I mean, so anyway, let's see what they have to say. This was January 28th, 2021, Davos 2021. IT experts warn the world is vulnerable to a cyber pandemic. So what they're saying is the world is not prepared for major cyber attacks, risking severe economic disruption. Well, seeing how I'm sitting at home right now when I should be out serving papers, I would say, yeah, they got that right on the money. But they must have a crystal ball, right? Because they're predicting all this. Or maybe they're causing it. I think that's probably the more simple is usually right. So anyway. They have compared the risks to the coronavirus crisis. Isn't that nice? Organizing a panel event on averting a cyber pandemic at its virtual Davos Agenda Summit of global leaders this week. I don't know if I would call it a cyber pandemic because it doesn't stop our life like the biological pandemic, really, because I'm on lockdown again because there's no gas. So, but we're definitely under massive attack every day from multiple sources. Okay. We're seeing attacks as being successful. Unlike healthcare and systems tackling the current pandemic or the police, cyber attacks mean computers defending against other computers. So we're into the war of the robots or something. Their speed is something human beings cannot react to. What the world still doesn't have is the infrastructure to protect itself in real time. He said the latest fifth generation of cyber attacks were hard to detect. They were like the coronavirus, but with every attack, a new mutation, and they call it ransom. Well, this particular one, it was called like ransomware, and this group evidently wanted ransom money to unhack the pipeline. Antivirus technology that was likely not enough to defend themselves. Okay. So basically, you get the point. You get the point. The point is this: the plan, the Great Reset, is a satanic plan to do away with the civilization that was built by the church. Western civilization was built by the Catholic Church. Okay? The plan is to get rid of that and implement a new civilization, a new global civilization that is anti Christian. They go hands in hand. They can't be separated. That's why I cover this stuff, because it's completely hand in hand. It's not just politics. It's not just the economy. It's a complete system from the food they want. I was in Costco today, and I'm like, sweet, chicken patties are on sale, like $6.99 for a huge box. So I picked them up, I put them in my car. I look down at them, and it's like not chicken patties. It's like the imitation meat. I'm like, really? So it's the food chain, it's everything. And these attacks and the pandemics and all this stuff are real, obviously. They're having real implications, but they're largely perpetuated by a small core group of people that has a plan to use these incidents to then present a solution and implement their satanic agenda. And in the meantime, we're all going to suffer. I'm losing money today. I'm sure there's many other people who are on vacation here that can't get home. I mean, it is really affecting people's lives, but and this is why it's so important to understand, because the times of, oh, I don't like politics, I don't want to be involved in politics, I don't, all this stuff is over. It's over because it's going to affect your day-to-day life. We used to have the luxury of not having to pay attention to politics global policies or whatever. Policymakers, we don't have that luxury anymore because it's going to affect your day-to-day life. Now, hopefully this is just a minor hiccup, and this is resolved. They're saying it should be resolved by the ends of the week. But it's just interesting. We had the shipping incident that happened a couple months ago. Now we have this problem, and the trucking industry is admitting, they're admitting it on all levels. All the supply chain industries, shipping, they're saying they can't produce plastic for their shipping containers, all kinds of stuff. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with everything getting shut down from the pandemic. We're now feeling the effects of it. It's a delayed effect. Things were not getting produced, which means it's a boomerang effect. We're now feeling that. On top of that, we're also having to deal with Green New Deal policies that are crippling industries. And the left, of course, has something to benefit from a gas pipeline getting shut down. What did Biden do the second he got in office? Within like the same day, I think, he got rid of like thousands of jobs by banning the Keystone pipeline. So of course they want to get rid of it all. That's what I'm saying. They want to tear down Western civilization as we know it and build back better. Only it's not build back better. It's build back, and pre-Christian era society. And we're already there. I mean, we're already there. I mentioned in my last video that the United States of America is no longer under the protection of God, and that is a true statement. We have a fake Catholic president who, God help us, receives communion publicly while voting that babies can be murdered even up until birth and after birth. I don't know what to even say about that other than we deserve it. So don't be upset about it. The answer is personal holiness. The answer is a relationship with God. And we're not going to be prepared for every event. This caught me off guard this morning when I realized there was no gas. I had 45 miles to go to E, so good lesson to learn. Always keep, my grandma used to say, always keep half tank and above in your car. And I think I get lazy about that. So note to self, listen to the grandmother. And yeah, if you're experiencing fuel shortages, let me know where you're at. I know North Carolina is in bad shape. I know we're in bad shape here in South Carolina, but I don't know about the rest of the Southeast. I think Virginia, people having to travel through North Carolina are canceling their plans because there's no gas up there. Governor Cooper up there did declare a state of emergency. I don't think our governor has, but he's probably going to have to. And I don't know if it's the rest of the state looks like us. I would assume probably not. Most of the states probably is pretty rural. It's probably the cities that are having issues, and just happen to be a ginormous tourist industry, and this is our one of our biggest tourist weeks. It's Harley. They call it Harley Bike Week. So there's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of Harleys bikers down here right now. Uh, so luckily bikes don't take up a lot of gas, but you get thousands of them. I'm sure that's not helping our situation. And Mother's Day, just passing people trying to go home, it's a nightmare. Like it's a total nightmare here. It looks like the apocalypse. It looks like Venezuela. I mean, it looks like a third world country out there. I really have no desire to leave my house. And I was driving around. I thought maybe once I got on the outskirts of, the where I was or whatever, it would be better. It's not. It's literally half mile lines, down out of the gas pumps to just get gas. It's wild. So if you're being affected by this, you're in my prayers. Pray for me. And I don't buy. Who are they saying it is? They're saying it's I forgot. Hold on. Let's find out. Gas. They're saying it Dark Side, I think is the name of it. Dark Side Russian hacker group. I don't believe it. I mean, sure, I'm sure maybe it was them, but who are they taking their orders from? I'm pretty sure it's not Russia that they're taking their orders from. Oh, I can't even. Southeast coast suffers gas shortage amid pipe shutdown. And yeah, that's the main problem, the panic buying right now. Let's see. North Carolina governor. All right, so it sparked wild scenes of panic buying across Georgia, Florida, Virginia, and South Carolina, with North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper and Georgia Governor Brian Kemp declaring states of emergency. Great. So north and south of us, it's state of emergency. I don't have any gas, and the state of North Carolina doesn't have any gas. What in the 2021 is going on? And I do know that North Carolina is in bad shape right now, even worse than us. So what they're saying is 7.6% of gas stations in Virginia even were out of gas by early Tuesday. I guess maybe Dark Side. Here it is. So on Monday, the FBI confirmed the cyber attack was carried out by a professional gang of hackers known as Dark Side. No need to wonder why there's a gas shortage on the East Coast. Old buddy had eight. Oh, sorry, that's. See? We're making national news. I told y'all. Old buddy had eight gas containers lined up at the Murphy across from Tanger 17 in Myrtle. Exactly. Exactly. Like, that's what I was seeing this morning. And I'm, like, annoyed because, first of all, most of the people here are retired. And I'm not saying old people have to stay home, but come on. So anyway, Darkseid is known to extort cash from corporations and give a cut to charity. Well, they better deposit some in my bank account. That could be their charity because I'm losing a ton of money. Our goal is to make money and not creating problems for society. Mission failed. Goal failed. Goal not met. Um, anyway, what they were saying though in another one, yeah. While President Biden stopped short Monday of linking the Kremlin in the dark side, he said that there is evidence that the actor's ransomware is in Russia, of course. So I don't know if this guy is trying to create World War III, a nuclear war with Russia, because it sure seems like that. And I have news for you. If that happens, China is not going to be on our side. And, you know, people are like, oh, that'll never happen. We have Patriot, missiles and all this stuff to shoot down any nukes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we also have a wide open southern border. And evidently, they can just hack into our grid at any time they want. So, okay. False sense of security, complacency kills. Be ready for anything. That's all. All right, y'all. I'm signing off. Virgin most powerful, pray for us. May is the month of Mary. I haven't gotten into that yet because I've been super busy. Monday or Sunday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I had the honor and the gift for Mother's Day of watching my daughter crown Mary. They choose a child from the school, from our parish school to crown Mary. And this year they chose my daughter. So that was super awesome for me because I have a hardcore devotion to the Blessed Virgin. And it made me cry. It brought me to tears. It was a great Mother's Day gift for me. Um, Pray the rosary, especially this month. All right, I am signing off. Virgin most powerful, pray for us. Joan of Arc Media out.